Hey up and up YouTube, and welcome back to a new video with Ramfan YT. Today's video we will be doing the live watch along of Macclesfield versus Crystal Palace. Phoenix Club of Macclesfield Town, which used to be in the EFL, are taking on the holders of the FA Cup, Crystal Palace. Lowest ranked team, Macclesfield, looking to cause a huge upset. Everyone, I think, in Macclesfield is probably in attendance today or watching along. Huge game at, what's it called? Moth Row? Something like that. Macclesfield. It's been a while since it's Moth something. I think it's Moth Road. We'll go through the lineups in a couple of minutes. Just spinning through them. But what are people's score predictions for this one? I think it could be quite a cagey game, actually. In reality, the likelihood is that Palace does win this. They are the heavy favourites coming into this. I'm just think we had a huge lag spike hit. That's not what we want to see. Okay, we'll do the lineup, shall we? We've got for Macclesfield a 4-4-2, the iconic non-league formation. With Durnley in goal, a back four of Lacey, Heathcote, Menayese, and Fensom. A midfield four of Duffy, Kay, Dawson, and Edmondson. Edmondson has been one highlighted to look out for. Mellor and Buckley Ricketts are the top two. Palace, they're playing a weaker squad in a 3-4-2-1 with Benitez in goal, who really impressed last time we did a live watch along in the EFL Cup. Richards, who also impressed me, Canvo and Guehi as a back three, Guehi being captain. Devaney, Wharton, Rodney, and Sosa. The attacking duo Drakes Thomas and Pino, and up top is Uche. Yeah, I think that's not a terribly weak Palace team. It's obviously weaker than their normal lineup, but you still got some strong names in there. You got the likes of Guehi and Wharton, and Devaney, all quite big names in and around that Palace team, aren't they? We're going to be starting in about 3 minutes. Well, BBC seems to be thinking it's going to be a 4-1-4-1. I'm not quite convinced on that myself. Moss Rose, that's what it's called. We're looking for what the name of the thing is. John Rooney, interestingly, is the manager of Macclesfield. Everybody knows the Rooney household name. I believe he is related to Wayne. He is the younger brother of Wayne Rooney. There you go. That's a relation between the manager of Macclesfield today, and that's why Wayne Rooney is also in attendance on the commentary duty, looking to see if his younger bro can cause an upset up against a team he probably has faced many a time during his career in Crystal Palace. We are lovely, pristine pitch considering the weather today. Not what you suspect from a normal non-league pitches. We are shortly about to kick off at 1:15. It's an odd time to kick off, but can the National League North sides cause an upset? Let me know in the live chat what's wrong. I think it'll be a 0-0 draw, but I think Palace will take it on extra time or on penalties once they throw on a few more of their big guns potentially. It's an interesting one. We've zoomed into Drake Thomas, the youngster for Palace. I think he's making a debut today. He hasn't made many appearances. He is a number 86. Oh no, they have switched it to a 4-1-4-1 on SofaScore as well. So to rechange that, that's the back four of Lacey, Heathcote, Maniesi, and Fenson, but then a holding midfield of Edmondson. Forward midfield of Ricketts out wide, Dawson and Kay middle with Duffy, with Mellor as the target man. We should shortly be kicking off, but everybody is now entering our huddles. Captain Dawson is getting some last-minute instructions from his manager, Paul Dawson. Been a very consistent performer. He got a goal in their last game against Radcliffe in midweek. And it will be Macclesfield to kick us off, going left to right. Palace will be attacking right to left. It's a cold day across the country. Whether the weather conditions play any part in what's going on, I do not know. But they shouldn't be in that circle, them Macclesfield people. I don't understand what entirely is happening. Well, that was slightly questionable, but Macclesfield have hoofed it all the way downfield. Very much anticipating hoofball in this, and has been headed out, I think, for a throw Macclesfield way. But I would have to suggest that in this one, a lot of hoofball. Already an early sign of potentially a head injury there. Dawson went up and had a clash of heads up against a Palace player. So I think it was Canvo. It'll be a throw-in though for Macclesfield. Just when Canvo gets that treatment on his head, though, we will be waiting. I imagine, it's protocol now. I think there's a small cut on the side of his head. They seem to be applying some sort of bandage. He'll be off there for taking medical treatment, I believe, because he's not actually on the pitch. The fourth official just making sure that he's okay, and Macclesfield will take the throw. It wasn't that long. I don't know if they have anyone who does do long throws. I know it's sometimes a thing done at this level. They're working their way into the penalty area, but it's run out over the line, and that will go to a goal kick. High intensity to start off with for Macclesfield. Dawson and Kay are protesting for it to be a corner, but has it been potentially handball? I don't know. Dawson also appears to be bleeding. Dawson makes someone, and he's claiming that it was blocked off. But I don't know about that. Dawson getting a lot of action at the moment, and he has got blood going down one side of his head. Does he need to get medical assistance to check if he's all right on that? Because I know Canvo did. That clash of heads before even the first minute had eclipsed. Already looking to move it forward. The back three of Palace now with it, and now they can sort of be content to keep possession, as you would suspect, keeping it along their back lines. Very much a typical Palace style of play, this. Invite pressure on them and hit them on the break. Even though they are necessarily the ones which are the team which you'd expect to be controlling possession in this, I don't know if they necessarily will do, in terms of in forward areas anyway. It's come to the near side with Guehi, and he has had that pass intercepted there, that through ball, and the goalkeeper will clear. An aerial duel, and Palace come away with it again. It's on the near side with Sosa. Sosa's tried a cheeky through ball there, and it's gone back to Guehi instead of the deflection. It's all the way back to Richards and Canvo in the defence. A cross-field pass there by Richard. I'd like to see that. They've tried being technical there, Palace, and they've made a fair bit of way down the pitch, and it's just been run out of play for a throw-in for Macclesfield. Could breathe a bit easier. I think it was Drake's Thomas trying to do a bit of a clever football in that one. The academy player, number 86 for Palace. Surely there's not 86 players on Palace's books. But long ball, and it's gone out again for a throw-in for Macclesfield. Not the greatest move if I was in position for Palace there, because we know how Macclesfield will probably play. They don't look to dominate possession compared to what they'd normally do in the National League North, which I imagine probably is actually. But get involved in a scrap, and you bring the scrap to the teams, then a lot of them don't like it in the Premier League because they're not used to it. For example, just there's been a foul tumble down, but just been dismissed because that isn't a typical tackle which you get in National League North. And the referee is very much refereeing the occasion as much as anything in this one. So I suspect you'd see a few less fouls given than normal. Gone all the way back with a goalkeeper for Macclesfield who's put in a precarious position. He's kicked it out for a throw-in on his near side. He's wearing a cap. It's got the low January sun dead into his eyes, has Durnley. It's not ideal. That is going to prove serious disadvantage if it comes to a penalty shootout of any sort. Surely you'd have to choose one which isn't in the eye lines of the sun. But then the striker is going to be looking into the sun, so questions which one's got an advantage there. It will be a throw-in taken by Drake's Thomas. Got plenty of men to aim for. He throws it in. There's also plenty of Macclesfield defenders. And they try to clear it, but it's headed back up, and it will go out for a corner. Yes. Couldn't quite keep a flick on back in. Very well defended there by Dawson. Shielding the ball well, enabling it to run out of play. 5 minutes passed and we're 0-0, and it will be a goal kick by Durnley. Very much even, I'd say, at the moment. Durnley will take this kick. Not quite convinced of him so far, but that's a good kick, I would say. Couldn't win the aerial duel, though. That was a poor pass, and it will go back to Benitez in Palace's goal. Content to play it short to his defensive back line here, and they will slowly progress it up the field, which have shown to brutal effect in the cup competition so far. And now they're going to hit on a break. They've viewed this as the option. They've gone out wide with Drake's Thomas. He has gone out for a throw-in, I believe, to Palace. I think it was Manayese who was the one who is the defender who kicked that out. There'll be another throw-in for Palace in a dangerous area. There is Dawson, who's been involved in everything so far, is down injured. I think it will be, is it his head? Is it still bleeding? Because he just sort of got up and he's holding his knee, but the physio is more concerned about the head. So there was a head injury early on, and he's still not stopped bleeding by the looks of it. Don't know why that wasn't assessed earlier, to be honest. I would have to say that is poor from how to carry on with that, but they're gluing his head together really quickly, and they're giving instructions to Buckley Ricketts at the moment, the manager. Lots of interruptions play. There's going to be a lot of extra time. I can already envisage it. And it's not what you want to see, to be honest. As players having to be dealt with heavy injuries and the like. But there was one in the Coventry game, which we didn't do a live watch along for because I wasn't sure I'll be able to cover the whole of it. But yeah, there's a bandage coming out. Oh, it's serious. He's been in the wars already, Dawson. I looked at it, but he's back up on his feet and he's ready to go, and he's raring for this occasion. He knows how to get involved in a battle, doesn't he? Look like a wounded soldier coming home from the wars. He'll have to go out to the side and wait 30 seconds to be called back in. Meanwhile, we're taken by Drake's Thomas for Palace as the medical treatment's done, and we are due to have a restart any minute now. Long throw. Yeah, he's got a long throw on him. But it's gone head on, has gone straight into the arms of Durnley, who will survey his options, and he rolls it to his defender, Heathcote, I think that is. He's gone with a crossfield pass. It's interesting. They're almost trying to mirror Palace in this bizarre situation. I mean, they're doing quite well. Oh, he's not got a pace on the wing, and it's cleared by Canvo. Hooked up and downfield by the goalkeeper and flicked on in midfield. It was a flick on coming from the number 22, is it? Was it K? I can't say. But Palace in the attack now. And they're off on the far side. A cross comes in, and no one can get to that header, and it's half dealt with by Macclesfield as they look to continue making sure that Palace do not progress into the penalty area. And it's hoofed up clear by Fensum. And it'll be recycled again. Guehi on the near side here. It's to Sosa. Crossfield pass to Rodney. And a long crossfield pass there to Drake's Thomas, who couldn't get on the end of it. Some straight into the arms of the keeper. People not rating Drake's Thomas at the moment on the sofa scores, which is a bit of an oddity. It's gone out for a throw-in for Macclesfield. I would have said he's had more of a ball. Maybe he was easily dispossessed, and maybe that's brought it down, but it's too early in the game, really, to tell. The whole of the momentum has been pretty much from Palace so far this game, as you would suspect. But it's a long throw for Macclesfield, trying to flick it on and head on, and then we'll go out for another throw. All the throws happening pretty much on one side as well, on the far side of the pitch from the camera. And Palace will take it short this time in a quick footwork distribution. This is really quick play here, but Macclesfield seem to deal with it because that pass isn't the greatest. Dawson passing it back to his defence, and they're now having their go at short, quick passes. Fensum goes back to Heathcote. Heathcote goes long, downfield pass, trying to find a run. Will he be able to get... I think Duffy's just unable to run out there as Guehi shields the ball out of play. But that could have been absolutely fantastic work, with the captain showing his expertise in making sure that there would be no progression down that wing. Benitez to take a goal. Oh, no, sorry, it's gone out with Richards. No. Out wide with Sosa. Crossfield pass in, does find his man. Palace looking dangerous here. And miss. So miss by Pino. He's not going to be happy about that one. It was a crossfield pass. Picked up by Pino, who's dragged it well wide. So Macclesfield can breathe a bit easier there. That wasn't the greatest shot, in my opinion. Durnley will take this goal kick. Headed up and on by Dawson. Flicked on. Drake's Thomas recovers well there. Dawson in the wars again, has gone flying down and earned his team a free kick. He's absolutely been in the wars. I don't know how much was in there. Deveni seems to be the one who's impeded him. He came out of salmon out of water. He's definitely made more of a meal than that. Actually, is. Fancy your chances against Leeds tomorrow? I really hope so. I hope we win. It'd be great to be able to get it over dirty Leeds, but alas, I think we'll lose 1-0. But I'd love it. I love it. Forest are already out as well, so if we knock out Leeds, we've knocked out anyone else can win at that point, and I don't mind. The free kick, by the way, has just gone past everyone and gone out for a goal kick. If you're interested in how that's happened, in the back three with Richards, Palace do a very similar and very predictable, in a sense, pattern of play, but it's a very effective pattern of play. But it doesn't mean that Macclesfield will press. But with that comes danger, because sort of in a sense they're invited to, but they've come away with it now. Dawson on the far side, whipping the cross in, can't quite find their man. Hooked in, and that will be into the arms of Benitez. It was Lacey with the ambitious shot from about 30-40 yards out. It wasn't great distances to be firing a rocket like that. The first bit of good momentum there from Macclesfield. They're certainly keeping their own up against Palace at the moment, I would suggest. Neither side has been totally dominant. Palace obviously dominating possession stats and forward momentum, but Macclesfield keeping them out at the moment. Palace coming again, as you suspect they would be for a lot of this game. At the moment, Macclesfield don't need to worry too much because they are sort of faff around in midfield, and that will be an offside. Offside given against a Drake Thomas, I believe it is. Well, I think he's been involved in a lot of action so far this game. Not necessarily all positive, but he certainly looked exciting, wanting to make him, like a lot of youngsters, trying to make his name to Glasner and potentially say, pick me. Long goal kick, and goes down to Dawson. Been really impressed by Dawson so far today. He's been right involved in this war of attrition in midfield and has already come away with an injury. You can see why he is captain. And Palace come again in the midfield here, just content to sort of slow down the game, build up possession, maybe hoping for a rash tackle or something. The way he has it now, I think none of these passes are overly optimistic, by the way, by the midfield people. They're all side to side or backwards, and you want your passes to be forwards, and Macclesfield have got that. Because most of their passes, I would imagine at the moment, have been forward, progressive passes. Palace have it at the halfway line, but it's been cut out, and the chance for a counter attack here for Macclesfield. Dispossessed though, rather cheaply, and Palace have it again. Amazing run there by Drake Thomas, I think it was. Lifted up high. Is that not offside? It doesn't matter. I think it has been given as offside. Yep. It looked it to me. It's the right decision. I think Macclesfield has been in a bit of an ascendancy for the last couple of minutes or so. But I wonder how Glasner's making of his team's performance in this opening 17 and a half minutes. Probably not well impressed. They've not had that killer pass at the moment, and Macclesfield are relatively content to see this out for the long haul, I would suggest. You want to take it to the lottery of penalties, and then who knows? I personally don't want that, but Sosa's come in, whip cross, but doesn't find the target. It was a good ball by Sosa there, I must say. Just couldn't quite get to Devaney, who was outstretching. It will be a throw-in then for Macclesfield, fairly deep in their own half. I'm going to go and try a long one. And they've managed to get another throw in from it, progressing slightly further up the pitch, which isn't a bad thing in the slightest. But a lot of long throws happen in the National League North. I've seen a fair few games now at this level, and it's a long throw specialist is what you do need to bear out success. Not the only thing, of course, but it is certainly a helpful thing. Flicked up but headed down and onwards by Macclesfield, but unfortunately it's gone out of play for a throw-in. Palace to take a throw-in roughly around about the halfway line position, just beyond the halfway line into Macclesfield's half. It has gone back to the keeper of Benitez. Slowly building up possession. On the near side is Rodney. That's Sosa. It's all sort of tricky triangles, quick ball play, but Pino's been involved in all of this, and Pino's gone with a pass in, headed away, and that's a bit of last-ditch defending. Macclesfield will try and clear it, but it's gone to Guehi. Out wide, and it's crossed in, and the cross doesn't quite get to the intended target. And Durnley did have to make a save, though. He was forced to save there. It was a great cross by Rodney. And it was Drake's Thomas who missed the header. Should be doing better there. 70% possession for Palace, by the way, in this opening 20 minutes. Not too surprising. All things considering, you'd certainly expected, even though they're not the home side, they're certainly the dominant side in positions. Trying to do some cut-field ball passes headed up. Oh, and a cheeky back heel there by Sosa to Guehi. That's the Premier League bit of class, I think is what you call it. And it is out wide again. We've had some on the far side, I think, with Drake's Thomas. Cross in. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was with Devaney. Devaney's been impressive on that far side. It's quite hard to tell because it's in the shade what fully goes on over in that position. Who are you supporting in this game? Obviously, Macclesfield. I mean, everybody loves an upset. I generally support Derby County, but they're not playing today, so I don't have my kit on. I'll have that on for tomorrow. But yeah, in the case of this one, you want an upset. Macclesfield go long, and they come away with it somehow. That's a interesting one. It's on the near side there, Fensom rather, and couldn't quite get the connection header on Canmella. It's been a bit quiet in this opening half. Nothing quite falling his way at the moment. All in midfield by Rodney at the moment, who's involved in a right tackle. And surely that's a foul by Dawson. No, wave on, saves the ref. Dawson looking for his options. Passes it out to the near side from Fensom, and they'll go all the way back to their goalkeeper. To look for a reset, but that's poor. But thankfully, the immediate pass through was offside to Uche. Macclesfield were very close then for a mistake. They'll run out though for a Palace. Palace a touch too heavy, and it was run out for a throw from Macclesfield. Camera pointing to Dawson, the captain. Certainly been very impressive so far. One of the better players on this pitch. It's relatively even game so far. Chested up and across to Fensom, who will now, he's got plenty of space to run into. Crossfield pass, can't quite find his target. Bit of a heavy, that just shows me the level between the two. If you can't quite direct the pass to your man, it is that sort of levels of difference. Where Benitez will be put under pressure here. And flying up is Duffy as well. There's plenty of pressure being applied on this Palace back line. Are they willing and susceptible to making a mistake? I'm not too sure. I think it's quite a dependable backline. Devaney has it now. We'll try and get past Lacey, but Lacey puts in a good tackle, and it will go out for a throw-in for Macclesfield. It's an interesting battle, this Lacey versus Devaney. I can't quite tell who's come out on the top of it at the moment. Why have you decided to drone zoom all the way out on the stadium and the surrounding town? It's not useful. And an incredibly close up to Drake's Thomas, who will take this throw in. Absolutely ridiculous. Panning of the footage there. It's going to be controlled by Macclesfield in a dangerous area, and it's hoofed up and cleared. Oh my days! That was if that made contact, that would have been an incredibly reckless challenge by Macclesfield number 9 Mellor there. Out wide with Palace, who will use their centre-backs to great effect of keeping the possession with them. It seems to be their way. Progressing forward, but Macclesfield cut out that pass with ease. My days. Miniesa has just been fouled from behind by Uche, I want to say. Was Uche. So they've got a free kick, which the goalie will take about halfway between the halfway line and the penalty area. It's a very defensive area to do, but it would be a good sort of position if they can make it work. They've managed to get it here, and that's potentially another foul, but it's not being given by the ref. Chested up and down. Oh, that would have been an incredible shot if that came off. It took a little bobble, and I think it's gone out for a goal kick. Wharton's been very quiet, but he was involved with a bit of a tussle with that one. Wharton was the one with a missed pass, which enabled the shot to come off. And that would be a corner. No, surely it's come off Rodney there. But no, it's been given as a goal kick. I thought it came off Rodney. Wharton's been super quiet, and that was a poor mistake. A better team would have probably been a bit more clinical in that one. Progressing forwards out wide with Rodney, who checks back and cuts back to his centre backs. Nguehi, who's surveying his options going forward. He will pick the long ball out wide. I think that's a wise decision. That was a beautifully weighted pass. Cross forward, headed away. Uche is surrounded at the moment and dispossessed all a bit too easily. Macclesfield have a chance to get a break, but Nguehi is faster to it. Nguehi's gone down potentially off the ball there, but slight delayed bit of reaction. It was a foul by Kay, I believe, but not Peter. His name's Josh. Just so everyone's not in the doubt, it's not the comedian from Bolton. That would be an interesting wing-back choice. Sosa checking back in field. Sosa's got it again, and he's just left it very short, sort of leaving on there. Not sure entirely why, but Sosa has it again. He keeps on getting it here. Uche's got it now, and he's surrounded by blue shirts, and he's gone with a shot, and it's just over the crossbar. First real effort, I would say, has gone Palace's way as Uche's skied it. Well, not necessarily skied it, but he's got it over the bar. Macclesfield fans can breathe a sigh of relief, I think. Yeah, it was looking like it could have dipped in. Wasn't by any means a confident one. Devaney shielding his eyes and kicked it long, and Palace will come and attack and get in, and then Uche's come away with it, and that's potentially a foul, I would suggest. Uche certainly thinks so. The referee doesn't seem to think so either. That doesn't seem to think so, rather. There's a slow smirk on the face of Heathcote there. I think he knew what he did. I think that's maybe gone down a little bit lightly there, but it does seem to be a push. It's just before he reaches the penalty area, so it would have been a free kick. Potentially a yellow card worthy. He's through on goal. Yeah, nothing that the ref is giving there, and in a totally unbiased way, I would say that actually Palace should have got something there. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible in this, although I would prefer Macclesfield to win it. Edmondson will take a throw-in by the looks of it, or got a free kick rather, just inside the Palace's half. That's not a bad place to be in terms of this one. They are going. This is a good chance to get a whipped crossing if you've got a good ball in it, but it doesn't. That's not a good ball at all. Thankfully, the ricochet has come to Buckley Ricketts, who can enable Macclesfield to keep possession here. Another long through ball, but no one's there. That's a horror of a ball. You got to at least get it to one of your men. That's poor by Lacey. That really poor. John Rooney on the bench as a manager. Doesn't seem to be managing necessarily in the bloodline, I would suggest, for Macclesfield as or in the Rooney family, because although they've done well in the FA Cup so far, in the league they're a bit mid-table, and you'd expect a bit higher maybe. A pass back to Durnley. He's placed under pressure by Uche. They can't quite direct that pass forward, and Palace will come away with a great sliding tackle in that one. I do love a good strong sliding tackle. There was nothing wrong with it. And Dawson's gone flying again, looking for a foul. He's dying to get fouls in this one. He's a bit. He reminds me a bit like Jack Grealish used to be. He used to just go absolutely diving all over the place, hoping to get a. And 9 times out of 10, he would actually get a free kick out of it. So he's claiming on this one. He's just shoulder barged. He's obviously quite strong there because he just absolutely shoulder barged Devaney into an advertising hoarding. Anyway, that's a poor pass. And Palace can break on this. It's out wide with Devaney. He looks completely fine. Crossfield over one. He's looked for Sosa, but that was a very ambitious ball to make, and it will go to a goal kick instead. I think it was Wharton with the ambitious pass. I don't think Sosa in a million years could have got to it, though. And he has acknowledged that. We are under a bit of a spell again for Macclesfield here. One of a couple of times I've had it in this game, and Burnley will take this goal kick. Gone long. Can't get it beyond the midfield circle, and it's Palace. But second ball hoof on, but that's what you need to watch out for, because that's where Macclesfield, I think, if they get the ball right, could be a bit dangerous. But thankfully for Palace, they're away with it, and Uche has been fouled from behind by none other than Dawson, as you would suspect, who's got at least a couple of cuts now on his head and a massive bandage to prove it. Sosa on the near side. He's got 2 men in front of him, so he's got to go back to Guehi. He goes back infield to Richards. I'm trying to switch a play here. But deciding against it and gone back with Guehi, as Macclesfield read it quite well. Back with Richards, who's going to try the switch and play again as it goes with Canvo. And this time they're actually progressing a bit. A defensive pass. It's all a bit lethargic at the moment. Needs a bit more of that cutting edge impetus. You are getting towards that point where If Macclesfield can get in at half-time 0-0, that will be a great result for them so far. Pass cross out, but thankfully for Palace, he's done it. But there's a breakthrough here. Certainly an option. Duffy's got it. Can he make a cross? Poor cross, I would suggest, as he can't find his man. It was cut out defensively relatively well, though. But if Duffy had a better ball there, Macclesfield were definitely through because Mello was in the right position. Positionally, I think Mellor's been in an alright position so far. Just can't quite get that service, and there's nothing you can do about that as a centre forward. You can't score goals unless you get given the ball. Defensively, it's a great hook out wide there to Devaney, who's again in a great position. He's been flagged offside, I think. I will take that immediately back because I thought he was in a great position. It turned out he was not. I'm just looking at that replay. Duffy here. He's crossed the ball, and being fair, I think Mellor's slightly overrun it. But, yeah. Guehi so far, for me, been standout player of the match. As you would suspect in an occasion like this, he is by far the most experienced. He's an England international. So, yeah, he's certainly one which you would expect. It's hooked up, and Macclesfield are going to be attacking this, but it's cleared away by the centre-back. And it's all gone a bit aerial, which would certainly suit Macclesfield a lot better in this. It's hooked back over by Heathcote. And they've got it in midfield here. He is surrounded, but he's found an option in Dawson. Dawson flicking it right to Duffy. Duffy lashes it quickly, and it will go into Benitez's hand. It wasn't Duffy, it was Fensom. I think it was Duffy he was trying to find with that, but yeah, it was not a great one. And Palace have a chance to rebuild again. Macclesfield with again a little bit of pressure, I would suggest, from that. In a game that you would suspect Palace is going to dominate in a lot of the statistics. We've got it now. Guehi's passing it forward. A lot of passes made by Guehi so far. A lot of them accurate as well. Although I suppose when you're making only short passes, you can have 100% accuracy in passes, but if it's a useless pass, then it's not very good, is it? This side with Pino, who's been a bit quiet, I would suggest, for Palace. It's out wide again with Devaney on the opposite side. A great crossfield ball, all accounts. Wharton crossfield to Guehi. It's now out wide with Sosa, who's more of a winger this one, but it is cleared. Not convincingly. Guehi can get it down. The 42 Rodney. It's passed it out wide for Pino. Got to make something work here. He's flicked it up. But the headed cushion header into the goalie Durnley's open arms. He wants everyone to be going down as far as possible. He wants to get that pressure away from him. I must say, whoever did the bandage of Dawson did not do a very good job because you can see the cut on the top of his head. Hooked far. We may have to get it reapplied at half time. We'll see. Oh, you know what? If he had a bit of pace there, Fensom, I could have seen what was going on. Ambitious overhead kick. Not sure why, and it's got with Dawson. It's a really weird position to have an overhead kick. Because overhead kicks, the thing is, they look dramatic, but they're actually really ineffective. Pass cut out by Palace in what was actually quite a good and aggressive spell by Macclesfield, and they're going to have a chance to break. They will go out for a throw into Macclesfield. Oh no, to Palace, and Dawson is fuming at that decision. He was adamant it was a Macclesfield throw-in. Oh, and Palace have a chance here, and it is well saved by Durnley. That is the first clear-cut chance, but it is offside. I mean, that's probably why all the defenders stood off it a bit. It was Pina who was the one with the shot, but if he was offside, which he was offside. That is a correct decision. But one of the other player, I think it was Heathcote or Fensom, was putting his hand up to signify it was an offside. That's the person who doesn't give offsides in this game, and will be the lino or the referee. I think Uche has been probably the worst player, by the way. They're zooming in on him. Pina and Uche and Wharton combined, them three, at the moment, they're not doing enough for me. Palace under pressure this time. Macclesfield, it is dealt with. Macclesfield have just got to hope one of these times that they do go through. 200 completed passes by way for Palace compared to 43 to Macclesfield. It really does show the disparate, but you've got to make them count. For example, Macclesfield here, they're in a good position. Oh, that header needed to find someone, and it unfortunately didn't for Macclesfield. It's an interesting position here. Yeah, that was an interesting ball. I wasn't expecting it to go there, and it's gone long the other way. But Macclesfield can deal with that comfortably. Can they get it before that dribble? No? Yes, they can. Lacey on the far side goes back to his keeper. Uche will put a pressure on. That's a weird hookup. Not convinced on that at all. That wasn't a great ball. Headed on, and Macclesfield can bring it in field. Dawson's got it here. On the near side now, this time with Fensom. Cuts back in field to Dawson, to Kay. And Kay's gone with a shot, and it's dragged well wide. Kay punches a fist in desperation and exasperation. It's always a bad idea to do that. Never makes you feel any better. Just gives you a sore hand. Yeah, that was dragged well wide. That was never going to trouble the goalkeeper. The bold K. Wonder how John Rooney would be surveying this half. I think he'd be broadly satisfied, maybe a bit indifferent. It's not been a thrilling half for Macclesfield, but he's done the job, I would say. Kay's got it now in a decent area, and he has been fouled against by Rodney. He's just holding his ankle there, Kay. You're just looking at this on the replay. And yeah, that's definitely a foul. He has just stuck a leg out and prevented the forward run by Kay. So far, it's been a bit quiet alongside Edmondson from this Macclesfield side. Don't think I said Edmondson's name once yet. Well, Edmondson seems to be the person who's going to be taking this now. Oh, that's a really bad... Oh, no, that's for hair. I think... Oh, Dawson. Thought it was a cut, but it isn't. The bandage does seem to be coming off a bit, though. Whipped across, and it's headed, and it's in. Yeah, it's headed in. It's Dawson who headed it in. Macclesfield have 1-0 up. Sorry, I did not see that properly at all. I did not expect that to happen, and Macclesfield are absolutely ecstatic, rightfully so. Sorry for my underreaction now. I'll have to see the replay because I wasn't sure at all what was going on. I was trying to check who was the person who was taking it. They took it quickly. Yeah, that was incredible scenes. Well, now... Rooney can definitely be happy about it in his half performance. Dawson's instantly become probably the man of the match, who I was already suggesting was having quite a good game. Hugs all around to Dawson here, and they're just going to take a sweet time getting to their own half. It was just before he was applying reapplying the bandage by Heathcote, and it was a beautifully lifted free kick and headed on. And don't think anyone quite saw it coming. Okay, I think set plays are certainly what the thing is. Now, this is the best one. It's whipped in, and his marker's just left him. He's left him on mark there. That is poor by Canbo. I think Canbo was one who's meant to be marking him. Great set piece. It was a beautifully lifted ball by Duffy, I believe it was. Absolutely fantastic. 1-0 Macclesfield. And smiles are all around Moss Row and around a lot of the country, I imagine, as the upset seems to be on the cards. Just before half time, we're 1 minute away from it, and Palace are now having a bit of sense of urgency and immediately trying on the counter. But Burnley does manage to finally deal with that. Wasn't great, but he's limping away from it. He's very lanky, very skinny and tall for Macclesfield. Thing is, take this into half time, because one thing you don't want is to be pegged back. Take it into half time. You take a 15-minute breather, and you go again. And I wonder if they're going to be parking the bus. I wouldn't necessarily park the bus. I'd say same again second half for Macclesfield, because they could certainly play deeper than they have, but it's one of them ones that you shouldn't really. Lots of people are blaming Benitez, or SofaScores rather, seems to be blaming Benitez for that goal on a 5.9. I'm not quite sure about that. I would have all said it was his marker leaving his man. What is going on? There was 2 balls on the pitch, so I don't know why he took the throw in the first place. Is this a 3G pitch? I just realised this may be a 3G pitch. There's 3 minutes of added time, by the way, to keep that 1-0 win to the half time. By the way, 7.6 is how Dawson's rating has suddenly leapt up to, or 7. It's either 7.0 or 7.6 because of that goal. Goals change games after all. It's into the arms of Burnley, very gratefully. Yes, 7.6, crikey. Yeah, just kick this long. We only got a couple of minutes left. We're already battling. Then they want a second. They smell blood. Certainly has been an interesting half. Who do you think is going to win? I initially thought it was Palace. Let us see the match. Can we see the match? Who do you think is going to win? Come on. I can't show you the match because of copyright. If I showed you the match on this stream would be taken down. I mean, I still think Palace could get in and win this. Pop Sips and Astro, I can't show the match. I just can't. The stream will get taken down and I get copyright striking. There has been a yellow card. It'll be for K, who was at a frustrating half of football. And he's just absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's got the ball. In all fairness, he got the ball, but he's also got the entirety of the man of Pina alongside with it. Definitely a yellow card there, mate. Don't think you can have much protesting about that decision. When you scissor kick someone, it tends to result in a booking. So a free kick for Palace in their own half. It doesn't matter too much. It's about 30 seconds in. If you want to watch the match, it is free to view on BBC. On BBC One. So it's not as if it's... You only have to pay a TV license to watch it. And even then, I know some people don't pay TV licenses and just say that they do and still watch it. So it's not as if it's like... Was it a set piece? They scored via free kick. It was a free kick from the number 11 for Macclesfield onto Dawson's head. And he headed it home, left unmarked. or the marker left him of Canvo, though SofaScore don't seem to give it. 1-0 half-time to Macclesfield. Dawson, the difference between these two teams in this opening half of football would be a crazy, crazy upset. Certainly, I think if this upset comes off, it's one of the biggest ones in history. You know, they've knocked out the holders. They're 6 tiers below them. Would be a huge upset. Would be absolutely huge. Let's go through some of the sofa scores, shall we? Ratings. 6.6 for Durnley. He's done his job, I would argue. Job done. He's kept them out. Hasn't been actually applied that much pressure, to be honest. I mean, his distribution's been great, but I'm looking at his breakdown. 1 high claim, and it's not needed to make a single save. It sort of says more about Palace than about Macclesfield, doesn't it? 6.5 for Lacey, being on hugging that touchline. Real good battle with Devaney. I've loved seeing that battle, and I'd love to see it more in this half because he's actually being the side that you can see a bit clearer. 6.8 for Menayesi, just sort of doing his job. You know, all these defenders have just sort of done their job. He's won 3 out of his 3 ground duels, 2 out of his 4 aerial duels, 2 clearances, 1 recovery. You know, decent enough. 6.7 for Heathcote, same can be said for him. There's nothing particularly amazing about this Macclesfield team. They've 4 clearances and 1 recovery. They've just done the job. 6.4 for Fensom, slightly lower down rated. I think a couple of missed balls, I think, is maybe his issue. His forward balls not been great. He's made 1 key pass, which is great, but neither of his 2 crosses have been accurate. He's only got a pass accuracy of 38% accuracy out of the 13 passes he attempted. Should potentially be doing better there. 6.3 for Edmondson. He has been quiet for me. Not been doing a great deal. As a midfielder, to only have had 14 passes and only 7 of them accurate is not really what you are wanting from your side. 6.6 for Buckley Ricketts. I don't think he's been too bad. He's been mediocre, I would say. He's not had the ball a great deal, to be honest. He's only had 11 touches of the ball, so he's been a bit quiet. Dawson, so far, my man of the match, 7.6. He's scored the goal with a beautiful header. He's been right involved in the wars. Absolutely fantastic all-round performance, I think, by Dawson. He's not always got the ball, but what he does off the ball is sometimes equally what should be considered. 6.4 for Josh Kamey. That's the yellow card has brought him down a bit on that as well. And he did miss quite badly the only other shot, I believe, that Macclesfield had. They haven't had many shots. I mean, it's sort of in position-wise, they've all been sort of congregating around the midfield. For 6.8 for Duffy. The assist, obviously, boosting his grades a bit, but he's not been horrific. He had 1 missed shot. Okay, so maybe had 3 shots in 26th minute. I don't recall it too much. He's been a bit all over the place, Duffy, and putting a shift in. 6.4 for Mellor. He really should be getting the ball a lot more. I feel bad for him in a sense. He's not had the ball to do anything with. Anyway, for Palace, they've got a 6.2 for Walter Benitez. Presumably having a goal conceded. It went the wrong way. He only made 1 save the entire game, 1 high claim. Shows they haven't been under a lot of pressure. But neither have been in a lot of pressurising. 6.7 for Canvo. I thought Canvo was one who left the marker, to be honest. I think he's lucky to be given that, because I don't think he's won all 6 of his aerial duels. Credit where he's due on that one. But was it not him then who was the person who was meant to be picking up the defensive positions? I don't think he's done that much in defence. I mean, maybe he's not had to. Maybe that's why. He's done a lot of passes. 6.8 for Chris Richards. Done what he's needed to do. A lot of clearances when he's needed to. Winning aerial duels when he's needed to. Won all three of his so far. Passed the ball quite a bit, but not really that optimistic. 6.9 for Guay here. I've been most impressed with him. He's sort of dictating play as in the defence, although it's been a bit more of a midfield, if we're being honest, isn't it? As a sort of left midfielder rank. So he's not needed to do much defensive work. He's not had to deal with that much. What he's had to deal with, he's dealt with. So yeah, I think where he's certainly the best player so far for Palace. 6.6 for Devaney. He's, for me, had quite a good battle with Lacey. Because I think he's been quite good. I mean, a bit conservative at times. And none of the crosses or 4 crosses have found the target. But yeah, I think, you know what, he's not been horrendous. 6.1 for Wharton. I think he's been poor. He's been quiet. And the times he has had it, he missed a lot of his balls. But his time he's been optimistic. He's been bad optimistic, and so that to be revert to playing defensively, and even in the defence, not great all round on that one either. 2 recoveries, hasn't won a single one of his 3 ground duels, and only won once of his 3 aerial duels. Dribble past once, and apparently it was his error which led to goal. He was the one which fouled, wasn't he? Yeah, that's understandable. Wharton, not on a good one. Caden Rodney, on a 6.8. Decent player so far, Rodney, I think. He's just been your typical midfielder, popping up at times, spraying passes, doing a decent job. He's been a bit all over the place, but in a good sense. 6.7 Sosa, Borna Sosa. 1 key pass. I'd say he's been quite good, to be honest, on that wide position. He's been hugging that wing and making sure that getting his team into threatening positions. 6.5 for Pino. Quieter than I would like. He's missed his only shot, which was a big chance, and he was offside twice. Probably their no, actually, that's unfair because I think the person I'm going to talk about next, Drake Thomas on 6.7, has been the most influential attacking play. Has been out too wide a bit. He missed from a throw-in set piece on a left-footed shot. Was offside once, but I think he sort of, if he cuts inside a bit more, he's been hugging the touchline quite a bit. But if he cuts in, could be quite a threat. 6.3 for Uche, be taking him off. If I'm honest, if I'm a Palace player, I'll be taking him off. He's had 1 shot and he went over the bar. You need a bit more of a target man who's better than Uche, and they have one in Mateta. Do you bring on Mateta? Like this game? Well, let's just look at the benches, shall we? Mateta's not on the bench, for one. For Macclesfield, they've got Shea Callister, Luke Matheson, Cameron Borthwick Jackson. What a name. Do you remember him? He used to play for Burton at one point. He's kicking around in National North. Michael Stone, Carlos dos Santos. He's a decent player as well. Where have I heard of Carlos dos Santos from? Didn't he? He used to be. He used to play for someone else at this level, didn't he? I'm trying to remember. I might have been mixing him up with someone else, to be honest. But I could have sworn he was a decent player with somebody. I'm going to try and find out online. If he doesn't have a Wikipedia page, it basically means that he's not actually that good. Yep, doesn't appear to have a Wikipedia page. So maybe I'm mixing him up with someone else. Danny Whitehead is also on the bench. And he does go back a bit. This sort of things. He came through Stockport's academy. Has been a bit of a journeyman. Been all right. He was with Salford. Very good with Fylde for the last couple of years. He could be an interesting option off the bench potentially. Regan Griffiths, Cameron Bradbury-Allen, and Max Volkman. By the way, latest scores elsewhere: 2-0 to Leicester against Cheltenham, Sunderland leading Everton 1-0, and Wolves leading Shrewsbury Town 3-1. So this is the most exciting one to be watching. In terms of the substitutes for Palace, you got Dean Henderson, Dean Benham, Maxence Lacroix, Will Hughes, George King, Tyrick Mitchell, Zach Marsh, Benjamin Casey, and the new signing Brennan Johnson. Bringing on Brennan Johnson for me is the only logical one. You could tell that they thought they were going to go in and have to defend the lead because they're the more experienced ones. Lacroix, Mitchell are both defensive wise, and Will Hughes is a dictating midfielder. And so it's fairly obvious for me that they didn't think they'd have to extend and stretch the game as much as they did. Brennan Johnson, exciting player to see. Do you think it's going to end up an upset? It could well end up an upset. It really could. Who should I place a bet on? I'm not a betting man. I'm not the person to ask because I don't place bets. Surely placing a bet on Macclesfield would be the bigger payout, though. Right? I'm not sure how necessarily how it works. Robbie Savage is obviously no longer with Macclesfield. He is now with Forest Green Rovers. But there is a show that the BBC runs about his time at Macclesfield and how he managed them and owned them. I don't know if he might even still be an owner. I'm not sure. He was certainly a key influencing factor in the refounding. Rob Smethurst is the other owner, who I know is definitely around, and he's delighted. He's doing an interview as we speak with the BBC with Wayne Rooney on the commentary thing. Yeah, I think if you look at it, it's one of them ones that decent half for Macclesfield, and you can't complain. And now you just got to see it out, don't you? I mean, yeah, it's exciting possibilities. Knocking out one Premier League team, and now potentially, would you like to draw another, or would you like to see Macclesfield then go on a bit of a run if they start drawing up against maybe we got Salford and Swindon, whose game was postponed to the 20th of January because of a frozen pitch. Playing up against Salford, it's a relatively local side, and good opportunity to get through. Maybe you wouldn't be on telly for it, but good opportunity to get through to the fifth round. And boy, that money that you start then getting rolling in at that level. Already at this level, you get because it's on telly, you're getting over 100,000, which may not seem a lot for the Premier League. Oh yes, so what? That's what one player's half a yearly salary or something, or maybe a year. I don't know, but it's certainly not a lot for teams like Palace. Whereas for Macclesfield, it makes all the world of difference. £100,000. Well, they don't need to improve their stadium because the stadium's top notch. It's EFL standard anyway. But they can sign better players. They can bring in better sort of facilities, whatever. Get that next level above. And Macclesfield is already a huge club and appeals to a lot of people. They've already got a few decent signings and players, but some of them I think you would have to suspect to go on for the next one. To get onto the next level, rather, you would suspect they'd sign more experienced players. Substitutes do seem to be coming on for Palace, which makes sense. Josh Kay, by the way, is on loan from Oldham, and Edmondson is on loan from Blackburn. They're two loanees who are at the moment playing. We are going to kick off this second half. Palace in yellow to kick us off. Mate, I said who you should bet on. Said you should potentially bet on Macclesfield. But I'm not a betting man. So, right. Has there been any subs in this half? I'm trying to figure out. Because they keep on zooming out to a drone footage of the stadium. It's not overly helpful. Right, they've kicked off. And Palace have already sense of urgency. They're keeping possession but doing much more quicker passes than they did in the first half. I don't think anyone's come on this second half. He might be tempted around about the hour mark. He's probably said to his lads, "Go and show me why I shouldn't take you off." Oh no, he has made a triple substitution. Never mind. Rodney's come off for Will Hughes. Kyrick Mitchell has replaced Canvo. And Brennan Johnson, from a new signing from Spurs, has replaced Jake Thomas. Bringing the big guns on. Although I would suggest Mitchell is more defensive. But you can tell the urgency, and it was having to be a bit of late-minute defending very early on by Maniesi. Very much indicative of, I imagine, this half will go. They will press and press and press. But Maniesi's just done a great clearance there. It's a cross infield, and he's tried to find Uche. And that's instantly what you get with Brennan Johnson, the new signing. An incredible player, even though he did come from Forest. I don't mind occasionally crediting someone if they no longer play for Forest. They've decided to see the light and switch allegiance. It was a foul against the goalkeeper, arguably. I think that's a bit of a light one, but it's been given. If you even breathe on a goalkeeper wrong way nowadays, it is often given as a free kick in the goalkeeper's direction. So they've managed to win a free kick from that. If you want to watch the game live, watch it on BBC. Right, going forward managed to press right up there at Macclesfield and managed to get themselves thrown in a decent position here. This is an opportunity. That's clearly a well-routine one. It's hooked fire field, but headed on. Out wide with the number 7. The issue is, mate, I can't. If I put it on, it gets taken. It gets taken off. It gets taken off. It's taken down by YouTube. That was a really bad shot by Kay. So Sosa passing it back to Richards. Lost that early day impetus. Very defensive minded, but they've gone forward, and that's gone out for a throw-in for Macclesfield. And Wharton again with another bad ball, I believe. It's not being great. Mitchell is the one who's apologising, saying he probably should have got man. I'm not sure. I think it was a bad ball, in all honesty. Hefty throw. Macclesfield have managed to. I thought they'd managed to work away with that. And Dawson, doing a great tackle, and he's it's all a bit diving on the floor. What is going on? Oh my days! Something's been given. I think it's a free kick for Macclesfield. I think Will Hughes was a bit overzealous in the challenge. Dawson's on the floor. Oh no, it was a shoulder barge by Mitchell. Guehi protesting about that decision. To ref as the captain, it's well within his rights to do so. But yes, it was Palace will be going into the sun in this half, which does invariably give them a disadvantage. It also gives their goalkeeper a disadvantage as well if Macclesfield can make something work here. It was a free kick from Macclesfield in a very defensive position. It ultimately didn't come across anything. Macclesfield have lost possession in the attacking for Palace. It's been given a throw in to Palace right in line with their own corner flag. Although actually, I think Macclesfield might have had that. It's all very interesting, this game. It's far more interesting than I think the other games going on at the moment, and that's poor on number 7. Should be touched. The control for that was just not controlled at all by Buckley Ricketts. Not been as impressed really with him. We are throwing again for Macclesfield. I've had a few of them in the last since half time. It was a long one this time, headed up and onwards. It's all a bit aerially, and Buckley Ricketts has it now. Chance to take it all away. Unfortunately, cannot. Kay was overzealous in this, and the chance for Palace to break. But Macclesfield come away with it. Mitchell unhappy about that decision. A cross-down shot, that was a ridiculous effort. Guehi was obviously going to deal with it. What the flip is, Macclesfield are certainly with a bit of pressure. Richards is heading it as well. It's all a bit aerial ball at the moment. And Palace are all over the place. They're looking absolutely ridiculous. And that's a foul given away by Uche. Just absolutely ridiculous. Edmondson is one who's impeded. Yeah, I would say Macclesfield are definitely going to win this at the moment. They aren't looking absolutely dominant. And who's looking better this second half? I'd say right now, Macclesfield. Like, generally, I'd say Macclesfield in the last few minutes. It was a bad tackle there against Mellor by the goalkeeper. Very lucky that wasn't given, to be honest. It's a free kick by Edmondson. Looking to replicate what he did in an earlier round. He scored by a free kick. That's not going to go in. That's gone wide by Edmondson. It did not come off this time. No wonder free kick from the person on loan from Blackburn. Palace looking to counter, but not quite effective, and Macclesfield deal with that comfortably. And getting into the groove now, Mellor with it, cutting it out wide, and large crossfield pass. That's a beautiful ball. That one is not so much as a shot. The ball was beautiful. Kay's shot was ridiculous. I mean, when your ball's almost going out the stadium, it does suggest that potentially it's not a good ball. But yeah, certainly Macclesfield, I'd say, has been the better team in this half. Maybe not throughout the whole game. What minute am I at? I'm at the 53rd minute and 23 seconds. Brennan Johnson to take a throw in. Oh no, he's just given it someone else to take a throw in. I think it's Sosa. We'll take a throw in the Macclesfield half. As this game goes on, the more and more defensive Macclesfield will get, is my anticipation. And it's going to be a throw-in for the number 15 for Macclesfield, is Lacey. Long throw. He's got a very powerful long throw. Louis Lacey. Goes in field and Dawson heads it on. Buckley Ricketts has a chance to run here. He's been fouled, surely. Advantage has been played, though. I would have taken the free kick over the advantage, as they've only gone back to their goalkeeper. I don't think there was much of an advantage in that, to be honest. Flipped on by Edmondson, but it's well not really directed to anyone. Edmondson slightly better this half, it must be said. He's getting involved a bit more. Progressing forward is Guehi with the ball. Oh, that pass is intercepted. Macclesfield have got the sense of urgency to win this. They've been told to they've got something now to defend, but instead of sitting back and defending, they decided to go press for a second, which I say good on them for the Silkmen. Palace has it now. The game is much more open in this half, I will suggest that, but I would say Macclesfield has certainly been much more dominant as a result of it. I wonder if this was always the strategy. Hoof downfield. Be amazed if Macclesfield can get that. They've headed it on. Oh, but Richards does well there. Does very well, the centre-back for Palace. The youngster. Well, I've been impressed with every single time I've watched Palace this season. I've watched them a couple of times. And they have been I've been very impressed when I don't think he's their normal centre-back, but he's certainly impressive. Palace are now beginning to march forward. But that's, again, well defended by Macclesfield. And will go out for a Palace corner. It was Tyrone Mitchell, I believe, was the one who was attempting the attack, and it was Heathcote putting the block. So it'll be a corner. There's not many corners this game at all, to be honest. Pina will be the one to take it. So far, Macclesfield have met all of them quite well. I would not want to be up against Guay. He is a defender. He is a towering influence. Headed up, clear. It's been given as a foul against someone in Macclesfield's penalty area. I'm not entirely sure what, to be honest. I don't speak Russian, so I don't understand what that means. It's not a pen. It's a free kick to Macclesfield. And they've gone long. And it's cleared by Palace. Going out for a throw. I think Macclesfield's way. Lasner giving the ball to the Macclesfield player. So yes, on about the halfway line of the centre circle. But yeah, it was such a dominant display from the National League North side. Tier 6 up against the Premier League. It's very much an upset, and we'll send ricochets. Right. Here we go. Palace on the insurging counter here. Cleared well by Palace. Right, Macclesfield rather. And applying pressure, Macclesfield, like mad, and they've come away with it as a result. Very good position to be away with it. Chance to shoot. It's gone down low and straight into the arms of Benitez. Maybe a pass and a bit more progressive play would have been better in this position. Dawson, no, I mean, I think he thought he had a throw in, but potentially not. Yes, Lacey will be one to throw. So he did have a throw in, he just thought Lacey would be the better one, which arguably for what I've seen so far would be the case. He is the better of the throw-in people. Headed up and onwards, and that will be a goal kick. It was to forward Mellor who was the one who was trying to get that, I believe. Certainly me one of the more quieter people in this game. Palace trying to progress now and find a pass. They need to defend a bit, Macclesfield here, but they do well, and Dawson has it. Dawson involved in a tangle and has won his side a free kick. I'm going to start calling him a non-league Jack Grealish in a minute. He's a right agitator. But he manages to get his teams a lot of free kicks. He's such a wind-up merchant. It's quite funny to watch. I mean, certainly not if I'm a Palace fan. I wouldn't be happy about that. Glasner's questioning how long to take the free kick. It's a free kick for Macclesfield on the 59.5 minute. 9 attempts, by the way, from Macclesfield to Palace's 4. Let that just sink in for a moment. Macclesfield have had almost over double the attempts. And they're again there, and that's arguably a penalty. It's all a bit of a scramble in the goal mouth. And it's a shot, and it's a hook behind. Oh, it's a goal. It's a goal on the 60th minute for Macclesfield. It's 2-0. What are the scenes we're seeing in Moss Row? I genuinely cannot believe this. Palace are being torn open. We were just talking about stats about how, Macclesfield have had more shots and attempts, and then they've just gone and a flipping another goal flicked on past the goalkeeper. Let's go, says Pop Sips. Yeah, absolutely. Silkman are doing a phenomenal job in the FA Cup. Wow. This is level as a history books being written. It really is. Carry on going. Go for a third. It must be said, Ethan McLeod, RIP. I will say that this season we did have, unfortunately, the tragic accident of Ethan McLeod, who was tragically killed in a car crash. And he played for Macclesfield, and that goal has been dedicated to him. It was a weird flick round by Buckley Ricketts. I don't know if I would play defensive, because Palace have got their stronger players on them. You just invite themselves to put yourself in a weakness. If you play in defence, you suddenly end up in a position where you end up having to, invite the pressure on. And they're going again, straight at it. Buckley Ricketts has it on the wing. He takes it wide, and great tackle, and he'll take a throw in. Lacey's on the ground, holding his ribs. I think he had a bit of a tussle with Sosa. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Yellow card is going Palace's way. It was definitely a free kick judged by the ref. Yeah, this game has suddenly gotten up. Thank you for all the people, by the way, who are watching and commenting along, and the free likes. It's all very much appreciated. If you do enjoy this sort of content, we do all sorts on this channel. Do subscribe if you feel like it. But yeah, there's chants galore and singing in the Macclesfield fans. Look how delighted they all are. They are so back. The former Football League club, which went out of business, and the Phoenix club of it all. That was a chance for maybe a counter-attack, but Macclesfield deal with that again. Thank you, Popsits. Everyone do subscribe. It's dealt with well. It's going to be a throw-in for Palace. Lacey to take it. He's just done a rainbow flag for no apparent reason. A decent throw. Similar one to last time. It actually gets on the end of it this time. Okay, get it, but unfortunately, flipping number 9. If there was one weakness for Palace, I would not for Palace, for Macclesfield, I would suggest it is their number 9. And Palace is going to be hitting on the break. Now they've got their big guns on and cutting field, and a bit of pressure here, and he's dragged it wide. Uche has dragged the ball wide. Very much. Yes, I would suggest that one. I mean, didn't get the angle quite right. Slightly more tight, and I think the goalkeeper gets it, so it's a very difficult one. By the way, Borna Sosa was the one who got the yellow card for that free kick, which I just mentioned earlier. Goal kick for Burnley. They must be delighted, Macclesfield, at the moment. Dawson heads it on. There's no second person who can get behind that, as unfortunately, it's It's all just well defended by Palace, and they're now going to be drawing the long game. They've humped that downfield in a bit of a Route 1 style. Offside, potentially. It's always the danger. Interestingly, the owners of Palace are even here to see this. That's always interesting. Palace's retention of the FA Cup is vastly vanishing before our very, very eyes. We've got 25 minutes for them to find some way to get back into this. Otherwise, the holders will be dumped out at the first round that they can possibly get dumped out in, which is not ideal for them at all. Bit of a drinks break going on, and time to take on some tactical advice as well. I can't believe what Benitez has done there, to be honest. That goal is a flick round, very clever by Booklet Ricklets, but I'm enjoying my winnings, so I subscribe. Thank you, Seymour Smith. Every subscription is vastly, vastly appreciated on this channel. We are a close-knit group. We do live watch-alongs. We do go to football games ourselves, do shorts on it. We go and do predictions. We do a bit of trivia. We do a bit of everything here. I just enjoy waffling about football, and hope other people enjoy listening to my waffling. Yes, it will be a free kick for due to the offside for Macclesfield. Burnley will take this, and I'm sure just pump this far down. And it goes as predicted downfield, and it's all out wide a bit, and Macclesfield are coming again here, and if they can keep that in the corner there, and it'll be a throw-in for Palace. Unfortunately, they can't get a set piece off that delivery. It will be a throw-in by Tyrick Mitchell, I believe. Very good set piece delivery from there, but it's very defensive, so it doesn't matter too much. And Palace will try and hit on a break, but Lacey deals well, which is good because Burnley was flying out. Because that would have been an almost disaster if that was the case. I don't know if I was Burnley, I would have left it to my centre back and wouldn't have left my box like that. Palace are just knocking and knocking, but can't find a way through. Pretty much all the Macclesfield players, I think, are in their own half. And I can suspect that Palace may be getting a red card if the game's gone. Dawson seems to have just been dragged back down to the ground, but nothing says the ref. And now Macclesfield on a break, and there's 4v3 at the moment. Great opportunity to cross. They do have pace, Palace, but Macclesfield still have it for now. Dawson's the one going through, trying to win a free kick and does not. And now Palace will be turned in a counter-attacking with Uche. Uche trying to cross field ball. It's a bit heavy, but they'll still get to it out on the near side. Devaney hops away from his man, shots, headed away, and they'll go out for a throw-in. Bit of end-to-end action. A real thriller. Heathcote with a brilliant header, by the way, to make sure that that did not go in. Oh, it's offside for the follow-up. Do not worry, it is offside. The BBC cameras very much nearly messed up there by showing a replay of that, and they took a quick throw-in, and Uche did find it into the back of the net. It was taken by Sosa, and Richards have got it, and they've... I don't know if that is offside, you know. Oh, it is. A marginal call, and Macclesfield can breathe because that was close. Very, very close. We're in the 69th minute here, Popsnips. So 20 minutes left or so. Not been too much stoppage time in this second period. There was a lot in the first half, but you know, I imagine they added it on that at the first half interval. Oh, the double-barreled Ricketts comes on. He's already scored a goal with number 7, Buckley Ricketts. Just made a substitute, by the way. But they've won a corner in this. It's Richards. Was it? No, not Richards. Who was it? It just displayed a substitute like for half a second. It's a really good position, this, for Macclesfield to make it free. They've got a corner. This Buckley Ricketts did a load of incredible hard work, and it will be taken by Duffy. We've had the set piece in the first half, but it's claimed by Benitez. Who will he try a quick counter attack? I'm not quite sure. He's decided against it. I would have probably gone with a quick counter there, assuming almost all the Macclesfield people were in your half, but clearly a more professional experience than I am. Out wide, but dealt with all right by Macclesfield, and they're going to go on the counter here. Richards needs to deal with this, and he does. They were applied under a bit of pressure there, the young centre-back, the number 26 for Palace. And Palace are attacking again. They've crossed it here. It goes straight into the arms of Durnley. And the goalkeeper will breathe a sigh of relief for that one. It was Tyreek Mitchell with a cross. Palace fans are understandably a bit upset. They didn't expect their team to be the one subject to an upset. They thought, it's a non-league team, easy enough to progress through. But no way, Jose, said the Macclesfield. And their defence is holding strong at the moment, and they've got a throw-in, of which they've had several today. There's been a lot of throw-ins. More throw-ins than I think any other set piece, which I don't know if that's normally the case. I think it depends on the team, doesn't it? But certainly a lot of wide width play. Richards has it in the centre of the field and passes it out to Sosa. You're going 3-2. Yeah, well, you've not got long for that to happen, Mark Bars. And I reckon Macclesfield will very much get deeper and deeper and defend their lead. Tyreek Mitchell takes it short and crosses it in. Cleared and it does not really down. It's just gone up. That's the last place. And a slash shot, and it's gone wide. It was Adam Wharton just slashed at that. Saw himself in the headlines potentially, but wasn't far away. Must be said, it was flicked up by the number 5 Melanense. I'm not sure. Melanense, I can never pronounce these names. That's what you understand when you follow this show. Corner comes in. Headed away, though, by Macclesfield. Great bit of defensive work. Follow up. Ambitious shot, but straight into the arms of Durnley. I keep on wanting to say Devaney. Devaney's a different person on this pitch, isn't he? Devaney, similar enough. If it was into the arms of Devaney, you'd know about it. A bit of a tussle going on, and Macclesfield are surrounding their players and sort of therefore giving away a free kick to Palace. Minutes are slowly ticking away. Slowly ticking away. Will Hughes with it. Great lad, Will Hughes. Always had respect for him ever since he came through the Derby Academy. And they're progressing forward again, Palace. Headed away, though, by Macclesfield. It's all a bit... Sosa's gone with a weird ball there. I wouldn't have necessarily done that. Didn't Sosa used to play for Southampton, or am I thinking of someone else? Pretty certain he did. You've not really come across him since. Crossfield, but diving header by Maniese. Back to the wall stuff here. But I think Macclesfield are content to just sort of see it. They've not actually made a change yet, by the way, Macclesfield. The current starting 11 are the 11 who are still on the pitch, which says a lot, doesn't it? about either the squad depth or about the overall ability that they have on the current field of play, I would imagine. Running out wide, it's the new signing, Brennan Johnson, but can't get past his man, and he's probably thinking, why on earth did I leave Spurs at this point? Buckley Ricketts, surely that was kept in play. I think it was, and Will Hughes has it. I was going to say that everyone else seemed to act other than Will Hughes, that it had gone out for a throw, but it certainly had not. And that's got to be a free kick to Macclesfield. Where he has just stopped what potentially could have been a devastating counter-attack by Mellor. Where he's just crunched into him there, leaving the right leg out. That will be a yellow for the captain. Like Guehi quite a lot. What about Real Betis versus Oviedo? I don't really cover Spanish football, to be honest. Who do you think brings it home? Half-time 0-0. Well, I just have to say Real Betis. But I don't really watch a lot of Spanish football, so I wouldn't know. I saw Real Betis when they had a friendly against Derby at one point. And Derby beat them. So that's something the Forest can never sing, being able to beat Real Betis. But yes, a very, very interesting. Everybody seems to be focusing on Wayne Rooney right now. Not entirely sure why. Macclesfield are finally due to be making some changes here. They've got a couple of substitutes lined up. It's been a good half of them. Lacey has got a free kick as well. And no, it's not Lacey. Lacey's the other one. It's number 11. By the way, it's now 4-1 to Wolves against Shrewsbury. No chance of an upset in the West Midlands today. So just a lot of dissecting out what's going on at the moment. They're all a bit at each other, if you get what I mean. There was Uche and Dawson involved in a bit of a scrap. Duffy is the one, rather, who will be taking this free kick. He goes long, goes up. Can't quite find his target. Hooked up and over. And it's all, Macclesfield have definitely got it on attack at the moment, and seems to have given away a free kick. Just wasting a bit of time, not giving it back to. Yeah, that will be a yellow card for taking the ball away. It's the number. I can't quite tell who that was. Is that Edmondson? It's Heathcote. He was dragging the ball away. Triple change for Macclesfield. Interesting. Very interesting. Clearly, they think their day is done with 12 minutes left and just going a bit more defensive, I think. Duffy is coming off. He's one of the ones, but brilliant set piece to Taker, who got the assist for the first goal. And I think the instructions are, don't stop doing what you're doing. Kay is also coming off, the bowling man. Josh Kay. I'm trying to figure out who the people coming on are, because can we just have the names, please? Normally the BBC put all three names up. Lacey is also the one who will be coming off. Very impressive. On the other side as well, I've been very impressed with Lacey today. I think he won't get the headlines, but he certainly has done a work rate. Matheson and Borthwick Jackson are the ones who come on, as well as Dos Santos. Two saints. I don't know if that's a good enough translation, but so It's all a bit of a duel, and Macclesfield come away with it, and immediately will try and pounce on the counter. But alas, it will go out for a goal kick. Wasn't the greatest. We're going to not try and sugarcoat that from Buckley Ricketts. But he's certainly grown into the game. Oh, it's a corner. That's odd. Adam Wharton seemed to leave that, implying that it would be a goal kick. Very bizarre decision-making from the former Leeds Academy graduate. Corner doesn't quite go the way that Macclesfield want, and it is back with Macclesfield, but very much deep in their own half. It was just couldn't get past the first man, to be honest. 10 minutes or so left, if we ignore the additional periods that we'll probably get in stoppage time. Certainly would say that Macclesfield are looking comfortable to getting through with this. I've not seen anything that says for me that Palace are going to suddenly break through and score 2 goals, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in football. That's why we love the game. Out wide is Brennan Johnson, and oh my day, someone needs to clear that. Oh my, I think that's flicked out for a corner potentially. Oh no, it's kept in, it's headed. Oh, maybe a corner would have been better because Uche's header was horrible and it's been well dealt with and cleared by Macclesfield all the way back to the Palace's goalkeeper. Yeah, that was a bizarre one, but nevertheless it's dealt with by Palace, and well, not by Macclesfield. Palace will come again. Will Hughes with it, going out wide with Sosa, crossed in, cleared by Manesi this time. Richards will start the attack again. It's just going to be wave after wave, I imagine, in this final. It's very much parking the bus situation. Crossfield ball. And it's gone all the way across, and Sosa's had to deal with a fight with Buckley Ricketts to get it. It does so. So on the other side with Guehi. They're attacking very much as a team now. Tyrant Mitchell shortly in. Cross comes over and Uche heads over and behind for a goal kick. I've not been impressed by Uche. I really haven't. I don't see what he offers. Like, he can't get it on target at all. The thing is, Palace don't have a squad depth to be able to just get rid of him. That's ultimately the situation. And the thing is Mateta is the better of the strikers. I think he's either injured or he's been fully rested. It may even be potentially signing for someone. He's a good player, Mateta. I've always been impressed when I've seen him. Now 2 balls on the pitch, and Burnley will go and kick this one out. Just waste a bit of more time, It's not a. I wonder if the ball boys have been given explicit instructions in order to, just waste a bit of time, throw a ball onto the pitch. Burnley takes this goal kick long. Headed up. It's all a bit of aerial battling, and Macclesfield have it on the ground and clear it up and onwards. I'm thinking that'll go out for a throw-in, surely. Yep. Palace robbed me of everything I had. Did you bet heavily on Palace winning this? Because the number one rule, never bet against an upset. Palace on 70% of possession, by the way. It just shows you how dominant really Macclesfield have been when they are in possession. Will Hughes whipping it out wide. All I wanted was the Palace to score. Yeah, it's not looking likely. I can't quite believe my eyes either about what entirely is happening here. Palace coming undone against a tier 6 side. They're just mid-table and tier 6. That's all they are. And that's this FA Cup run has cemented themselves. This will be in their history books forever, presumably. We'll be talking about this game for years to come. And that is a foul given against Macclesfield. I got the worst luck, mate. Well, yeah, I mean, it's always difficult, isn't it? It's showing the other goal. The first goal was absolutely incredible. And I mean, the second one, I think the goalkeeper really should be doing better. There's not much pace on that ball in order for him to get it. But, you know, a goal is a goal. If there is any Macclesfield fans in the chat, which I don't know if there is at the moment, let me know. It's maybe a bit presumptuous, but is there any team you would potentially want to draw in the cup in the next round? Draws on Monday. So it's been a bit of time, but we don't really know who there is going to be until tomorrow afternoon. But I'm still hoping just score. We're willing him on for 5 minutes to go. I mean, it's not impossible. Macclesfield has certainly dropped a bit deeper in the past 5 minutes or so. But not Palace, Macclesfield have rather. Palace are deep at the moment, though. They're going out with Sosa. Buckley Ricketts is trying to mark his runner. Both of them got quite a bit of pace. And it is on the other side at the moment. Is it Tyrant Mitchell? Can't quite tell. It's all in the shade. You can never quite tell when it's so much in the shade over there. Uche is trying to hold it up here. He's the target man. It's a bit confusing. It's a looping one. Brennan Johnson will try and get, but Macclesfield clear it. Casey has come on. When did Casey come on for Macclesfield? Not for Palace. When did that even happen? I don't remember Casey ever coming on. He came on for Devaney in the 69th minute. I have no recollection of this happening. Was either one which I missed? Well, he's been doing nout. I can tell you that. He's done nout all game since he's come on. Palace are all headering a bit with each other. Macclesfield is well involved with this. Richards flicks it up, which is never entirely the greatest, because you never know what's going to happen with it. And it's gone out for... Oh, no, it doesn't. It's well recovered by Guehi on the far side. Is it Guehi? I can't quite tell. It's all in that short shady area. Richards. How many added time? We've still got 3 minutes till we find out how much added time. Now, I don't imagine there's going to be too much, if I'm really honest. In this half, there hasn't been much injury time. There's not actually going to be that much time wasting. You normally suspect a lot of time wasting from Macclesfield here. Palace were in the box, but completely surrounded by players, and they've managed to deal with it. And a block shot, and there's someone's down injured. I think it's the number 9. This may be a bit of tactical time wasting. I don't know. But the number 9 for Macclesfield, Mellor, is down. I mean, there wasn't much contact. If there was contact made with the boot by Guehi, he would have been off. But it is not. I mean, somehow it's been given as a free kick on the edge of a penalty area for Palace. I didn't see what that was for either. Dive, maybe? I don't know. But there's a 5 or 6 man wall in there. They're all basically in a line. You even got the draft excluder, which I don't think I've ever seen being performed by a non-league team before. Edmondson is the one who's there. This is ridiculous. Everyone's in a line. Almost everyone. Sosa's the one who's going to be taking it. This is a last-minute chance, really, for Palace to get anything. And they do score. They have scored from it. They've dragged one back at Palace. Jeremy Pina is the one who is going to be one with accredited for the goal. Is it Jeremy Pina? Yeah, I think it was Pina who took a very excellent free kick, I must say. It's gone straight into the top corner. No one was ever going to get there in the goalkeeper. But yes, John Rooney's just saying, see it out, boys. See it out. Thank God God exists, thankfully. Yes, you thankfully you got your bet. Very, very lucky. Very lucky, but I don't think they win it. But you're very lucky. Mackles, 6 minutes of added on time. You maybe can get even a draw and replay of. Well, no, you don't get replay anymore, do you? Flipping heck. Bring back replays. No, you get a extra time period, and I swear if I had lost this, my account would have been 0, mate. Mate, you should probably stop betting then. I'm going to be honest, you should probably stop betting. Fave team in the EPL. Well, assuming Derby aren't in the English Premier League. No, there's 6 minutes left, mate. It'd probably be Newcastle United. Because the vast majority of the time of the year, I live in Newcastle now. So, well, I'm an addict. I'm quitting after today. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Don't take any betting tips from me. Will Crystal Palace score again? Well, I don't know. They're in an attack right now. I mean, there's 5 minutes or so being able to do it. There's certainly an ability to score again. It's just Macclesfield are really going to be all crowd in the box and defence. And that's headed away. Bit of last-ditch defending there by Macclesfield. So throw-in was either substitute. I can't remember what he's called. But Sosa will take this throw-in. Problem with Sofa Score, it doesn't have necessarily all the people's portraits on either. So I can't tell who the people necessarily are who come off the bench. Macclesfield fans, understandably, quite nervous now. Richards will be taking a throw-in. Interesting option. Long throw. Headed down, and Macclesfield are just going to have to beat. If they beat Will Hughes in a foot race here, they can make it 3. They're going on. And, that's a bit of a. It was a risky one. But Will Hughes is going to try and start a counter-attack. He's got several blue shirts around him, and Macclesfield managed to deal with it and clear it. Really sort of getting to your holding your hats time for Macclesfield fans. I doubt they've got any fingernails left. Benitez goes forward. He goes on the ground as well, which is always much better and safer, but covers much less ground as well. Progressing forward a Palace, but a lot of men and great block, I would say, by Fenson, but it's not fully dealt with. Uche goes down in the penalty area, a bit too easy for my liking, and it's cleared by Macclesfield. 3 minutes left to go in this FA Cup third round occasion. Can Macclesfield become history makers? Surely this would be the first time ever that a non-league team knocks out the FA Cup holders. Well, apart from if you include Spurs, when they were a non-league team which won in 1901, I think it was. Cleared again by Macclesfield. But yeah, did you know that Spurs are the only team to have been a non-league team and win a game in the FA Cup and win the FA Cup? This game is just fixed idiots. All the managing directors are fucking idiot players. You can bring long players. The score overtime show the last minutes. No. No. And it's probably not fixed. They did put on youngsters, but that was their decision. You know, at the end of the day, you live and die by your decision making. Why would Palace want to deliberately go out of the FA Cup to Macclesfield? You can't explain it. Unless you're some hyper conspiracy theorist, you won't be able to explain to me why that would make any sense. Mella has come off for Whitehead. We were talking a little bit at half time. I mean, that's purely to waste time. There was only a minute and a half left. So they are purely wasting time at this point. But Macclesfield are looking ever closer to being in that hat for the fourth round, rather. And Palace, I don't think, are making any incisive passes. There's about a minute left, although I'd suggest there's maybe a bit longer because of the substitute. But we'll see. There's a crossing by Palace. They need to deal with this Macclesfield. Oh, they've snatched out again, Wharton. Not convinced by Wharton at the moment. He's just absolutely lashed at a couple of chances and just gone absolutely flying. Not really sure why he's done this, to be honest. Bit of an oddity. And Rooney instructing his men, trying to get the last gallant display to last nail-biting 30 seconds or so. There'll be pure elation from a lot of people, maybe even the whole North, maybe even the whole of Football and Palace fans about this happening. Palace needs to take this throw-in quickly, and they're not doing so, which is absolutely stupid. They're going long, which means that Richards is being designated long throw. This is sort of their last chance, to be honest. Macclesfield better than any after they went out of business. Really? I don't think that's true. I don't know if Macclesfield are better than going out of business. I don't think we want to see any club going out of business, to be honest. I mean, they got lucky in investment, basically, the new club. Is that game? It's not, but a lot of fans are thinking it is. But it's going to be a corner, I think, just before the end of this game. It's a corner for Palace. Basically, the last bit of the action. Well, it's a throw-in for Macclesfield, and they can basically call that. No, I'm not happy. They went out of business. I'm saying this is their biggest win indicates in the long run. It may be actually better. We still got a little bit of game left, pump sips, but you know what? I don't think there's much going on. I'm surprised we're still actually going on, to be honest. I don't know where he's got this additional period of time from. Miscue, Dawson fully clears it, and that's time. That is time for you. And Macclesfield are around to the forefront. I get what you're saying, because Macclesfield didn't have a huge FA Cup pedigree history, and they've had a few promotions, but also, you know, the history of Macclesfield Town is one of a Football League team. This, although they play at the same ground, will never have that same level of history until if they do ever get to Football League again. But yeah, pitch invasion by the fans as inevitable. Absolute delight. It couldn't be a better day for Macclesfield. It couldn't be a better day for football. Do I dare say that? You know, a really good advert for the FA Cup. A really good advert for why we cherish this competition. This is the best and the oldest competition in the world, in my opinion, where you get days like this. Nowhere else in the entirety of football do you get days like this. In English football, anyway. Shall we go through some of the amazing players of Macclesfield? Burnley on a 6.7. He's just done the job. He's not even had to make that many saves. That's the issue. Palace haven't had to do that much, or haven't done that much. 7.3 for Lacey. I thought he looked really solid before he came off. Really decent player. A lot of passing, a lot of defensive contributions, throwing himself at everything, doing some set pieces. You'd love to see it. 6.9 for Maniese. When it came to the crunch time, he did what he needed to do. You know, he had 10 clearances in total, 9 of which were in the box. Very much a last-ditch defender. 6.4 for Heathcote. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. He had 10 defensive contributions. 8 of them were clearances, 7 of which were in his own box. I don't know what more you expect a man to do, to be honest. He was never dribbled past. He didn't. I don't know why they've given him a 6.4. That's an incredibly harsh rating. 6.3 for Fensom. Yeah, decent enough game from the lad. A lot of clearances. 8 clearances in total. Yeah. I mean, going forward, he could have probably done a bit better. Edmondson on a 6.6. Slightly overrated. I know he's been here, there, and everywhere, but his passes have been awful. He's only attempted 24 passes and found 11 times. For a midfielder, so much more to expect from a lad. 7.9 for Buckley Ricketts. Incredible player, really. Athletic. He scored that interesting flick on goal. So, of course, on that regard, he gets it. For plaudits. Yeah, understandably for me as well, man of match, Paul Dawson, the bandaged, wounded soldier. Claimed a lot of fouls against him. Scored one of the goals by a great header. Was just in the wars, and you know what? I think a fantastic all-round player. Paul Dawson is for me is also man of the match. 6.5 for Josh Kay. A bit absent at times and a bit frustrating to watch in spells, but there was also some very good spells that he did. 6.9 for Luke Duffy. Decent enough that he 2 key passes, 1 assist, and 1 out of 4 crosses were accurate as well, but I feel like he was decent enough from the set piece routine to be able to. He was one who did the the free kick, which enabled the assist for the opening goal. Mellor on a 6.7. He, for me, didn't have enough service. He only had 1 shot and it was blocked. Not a great amount to write home about for Mellor, to be honest. In terms of their substitutes, you had Luke Matheson on a 6.3, did nothing. Well, they're all on 6.3, and Whitehead weren't ranked because he came on 90th minute. All the subs did absolutely nothing, other than maybe a bit by Borthwick Jackson of defensive Lee. Palace, 6.2 for Benitez, understandable. You've conceded 2 goals against a non-league team. The buck does sometimes have to fall at your door. 6.8 for Canvo. I thought he was responsible for the first goal going in, going to be honest. 7.6 for Richards, was their best player. Absolutely was their best player. He did a great job defensively for me and also in parts offensively. And he may be actually the person taking the throw-ins when I was mistaking him for Drake Thomas. They look very similar. 7.0 for Mark Way. He was everywhere. His heat map, he covers the entire left-hand side of the map. Defensively, very assured. 6.6 for Devaney. I think he maybe lost out on that battle on the right. 6.2 for Adam Wharton. I think he was a horrendous player. He snatched at absolutely everything, and his balls just didn't come off in terms of his shots, his passes. Nothing was falling his way. 6.8 for Rodney. Very average performance. Understandably game off for Will Hughes. 7.0 for Sosa. I thought he was all right, Sosa. He was sort of actually, at one point, switched onto the other wing after Devaney came off, I think it was. Because he definitely operated on, or maybe at half-time, but he definitely operated at both wing sides. 6.5 for Drake's Thomas. Didn't do a great deal. Let's be honest, he missed a shot. But offensively, could have done better. 7.5 for Jeremy Pino. Scored with a fantastic free kick. What a free kick it was as well. Had 2 shots and he scored one of them. He did miss a big chance. He was offside 3 times. I think maybe 7.5 a bit generous, but they do overinflate goals on this. 6.0 for Uche. Horrible performance from a lad. He couldn't get anything on target. He just blazed stuff over the bar. 6.5 for Will Hughes. I thought it was the most decent one coming on, but so was Tyreek Mitchell to be fair, 6.5 as well for him. Brennan Johnson, 6.4, probably is regretting things at the moment. And 6.3 for Benjamin Casey. Didn't really notice him until the camera panned to him at like 20 minutes after he came on. What are they? The 7th tier now? They're the 6th tier. Mystic MMA. Everton tie. Well, we can look at the games actually. Shall we have a quick look at what the other games are? This was also, by the way, Brennan Johnson's debut. It is going to extra time. Everton versus Sunderland, a 1-1 draw. I'm tired. I've recorded another video this morning, which is airing out tomorrow. 6-1 for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Finally seems to be hitting their mojo, don't they, Wolves? And 2-0 to Leicester City. In terms of, it's a very interesting one, the Everton one. But yeah, as I was saying, I have recorded a almost hour-long video this morning, which is airing tomorrow, about all the games that I've been to in 2025 with a couple of my friends. That's airing tomorrow at noon. Worst defence of a cup in English football history. Arguably so. It'd have to be said. There have been several poor ones before, but up against calibre of the opposition. Yep. Brennan Johnson probably not impressing much on his debut. Thank you all much for watching, though. Do subscribe if you're around here. Thanks for all of you who come in. The 5 likes is valuably appreciated as well. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye for now.